Salutations and greetings, ego hackers. My name is Ben, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be discussing the INTJ archetype, also known as the Ranger. INTJs are passionate, talented types who are capable of mastering any skill. They see their entire life as a performance, often fearing the spotlight is always on them. Often seeing themselves as managers of systems, INTJs take the ideas of other people and refine them until they are perfect. INTJs balance being the most independent of all the types with having gratitude for the people who have helped them get to their position in life. Some examples of famous INTJs you may know include Arnold Schwarzenegger, Beyoncé, Madonna, Magnus Carlsen, Scarlett Johansson, and Tiger Woods. As is the case with all personality types, the INTJ lies at the intersection between a specific interaction style and a specific temperament. They are one of the 4 finisher types, meaning that their communication style is direct, responding, and progression. They are direct. All sides of their mind besides their ego are informative, though. Additionally, their desire to not always be taken at their word, coupled with their quick speaking voices, makes INTJs the most half and half of all the types when it comes to direct versus informative. Still, an INTJ prefers to choose their role in a conversation. They are responding. INTJs much prefer to be approached by others with information, as it eases their SE inferior performance anxiety. They can be so afraid of initiating that they do not even get out of the house. They are progression. INTJs are triple progression, in fact, so they are one of the quickest types. They have an all-in, full steam ahead mentality where they stop at nothing to arrive at their goals once they get going. They do not mind being in a rush, often preferring to wait until the last minute to complete a task. The INTJ is part of the intellectual temperament, also known as the NT temperament, meaning that they are abstract, pragmatic, and systematic. Abstract, meaning that INTJs are at high risk of having too much hope, such that they fail to actually realize their dreams. They're so passionate and driven, but they need to balance that with concrete evidence of their abilities, or else they become fake. They're pragmatic. INTJs are the most independent of all the types. They impose their own belief systems onto other people, often disregarding that others may care about doing the right thing. They often find themselves unaccepted by society at large, resulting in them forming their own inner circle instead of belonging to a larger group. They're systematic. INTJs are looking for best practices to apply to all facets of life. They like to streamline processes because it prevents them from stagnating. Their relentless pursuit of efficiency may come off to others as uncaring when it is applied to human interaction, but that is showing care from an INTJ perspective. The cognitive functions of the INTJ are introverted intuition hero, extroverted thinking parent, introverted feeling child, extroverted sensing inferior, extroverted intuition nemesis, introverted thinking critic, extroverted feeling trickster, and introverted sensing demon. NI hero. NI hero has the ability to will its way through any situation. INTJs consider their future before their past, often getting tunnel vision. They have the hardest time letting go. Once they have decided they want something, they're stubborn about releasing it from their grasp. This applies to relationships as well, where INTJs are at risk of being possessive of their partners and they struggle to move on after a breakup. INTJs are chiefly aware of their own options. They exercise their freedom because they impulsively know what they want almost all of the time. INTJs develop NI hero by taking risks for the sake of constant improvement. Having too much hope for their own future can cause them to procrastinate. TE parent. TE parent is responsible with rationale because it is skeptical of the credibility of data sources. Without TE parent to keep them in check, INTJs would be gullible to following institutions that use statistics to push an agenda. INTJs can pursue data very quickly, which enables them to pick up new skills in a brief amount of time. They find themselves becoming experts before having the credentials which would make them look trustworthy, so they chase titles to make sure people listen to them. Their reputation is very important to them. INTJs are considered to be some of the shallowest people for the facade that they put up. People will think more highly of them if they are willing to risk being raw and real. FI child. FI child is very innocent about its moral compass. It is the purest form of good. INTJs are capable of being good people without needing the emotional reactions of others to inspire them. An INTJ who takes their FI child too far has a superiority complex, where they believe they are entitled to things without having to show gratitude in return. In this case, they see themselves as the ultimate judge of good and bad, where nobody else gets a say. Quality of life is very important to INTJs. They bring this to FE users in their lives who do not have the sense of self-worth to get it for themselves. They spend their sympathy on others and seek to bring them along on their journey of improvement. SE inferior. INTJs are afraid of abandonment. They may push others away to test if they will remain loyal, but it is more likely that they will not push people at all out of fear that they will lose faith. INTJs try to trade performance for loyalty. They seek to give other people the best experiences so they will want to stick around. Sometimes they fail to state this as an expectation, thus forming a covert contract. INTJs are the most talented people on the planet. Nobody can outcompete an INTJ when they humble themselves and aspire to perform for their own satisfaction. They have the capacity to master any skill and to do it the quickest. The downside is, they forget those skills if they do not continue to practice them. NE Nemesis. INTJs worry about other people's intentions. They are the most paranoid of all the types, as they often consider that other people might be looking to backstab. They would usually be better off giving people their trust in the first place. INTJs are the epitome of Murphy's Law. They project their own willpower onto other people and cause their own fears to enter reality by observing undesirable possibilities. NE Nemesis is what challenges the INTJ to never give up. They need to be certain they have a future even if other people get in the way. TI Critic. TI Critic causes INTJs to doubt what they know. They often work tirelessly to prove or disprove things. They're the biggest overthinkers of all the types, and this is one of the reasons they struggle to fall asleep at night. This problem can be alleviated via conversation with TI users. INTJs want to solve problems more than any other FITE user. They have the potential to possess mastery over thinking, and this prowess often gets directed toward innovative or intellectual pursuits. The knowledge of an INTJ decays over time, without consistent challenge though. They are at a high risk of assuming things to be true without verifying. FE Trickster. The one thing INTJs really struggle is to master social skills. FE Trickster coupled with triple pragmatism makes INTJs socially inept. From their perspective, anything could be ethical. In order to save them from making social faux pas, they need to be briefed on any event before it happens. Since this is not realistic, the best solution for them is to create a system of how people react whenever they do inevitably break social rules. Otherwise, they will forget and repeat the same mistakes. INTJs often use humor to make people feel good. This is generally an effective shortcut, but they might want to consider that this is not always appropriate. SI Demon. SI Demon is a rejection of an INTJ's needs. INTJs do not care about what they should do, and often pay a price for it. Their lack of consistency in life causes a poor sleep schedule and makes it almost impossible for them to maintain as much long-term memory as the other types. INTJs do not have faith in much of anything. They might betray loyal people in reaction to one event where their trust was broken. Their NE Nemesis and TI Critic might even assume this is happening in an act of paranoia when it is in fact not happening. If you obligate an INTJ, they will hate you. It is much more effective to use a Xanatos gambit to convince them to do things they should do. Do not make them remember past trauma either, unless you are okay with becoming part of it. With respect to the four sides of the mind, the INTJ has ESFP subconscious, ENTP unconscious, also known as the shadow, and ISFJ superego. A closer look at the INTJ ego reveals the INTJ's path to responsibility and maturity. The biggest source of our maturity comes from our parent function. INTJs can read nonfiction to become immersed in different subjects. They can bring their collective knowledge to other people for verification. Without TE parent, an INTJ will only concern themselves with what they want and how they feel. A healthy consideration of what other people think keeps an INTJ respectable and pushing toward meaningful goals. ESFP subconscious reveals the INTJ's path to happiness. When we break through the fear of our inferior, it becomes aspirational, and we become strong and capable where we were previously weak and afraid. For INTJs, this means accepting their flaws. A developed ESFP subconscious is confident that it can practice skills for its own joy instead of seeking to force people to stick around. INTJs become the best performers when they seek to be better instead of seeking to be perfect. People are often loyal to INTJs without them even knowing it. SE aspirational makes people feel so safe that they would sacrifice everything to protect INTJs. ENTP unconscious reveals the INTJ's path to wisdom. INTJs embrace the depth of metaphysics when they use their ENTP shadow. They become less shallow by pursuing truth and meaning when being the center of attention is not practical. If they develop TI Critic, they will verify everything they know. This will make people gravitate towards them for their problem-solving abilities. ISFJ superego reveals the INTJ's path to love. The ISFJ superego led by SI Demon is not comfortable in its own skin. Over time, INTJs begin to understand how much suffering they can endure. They cease to avoid struggle and use hard work to support those who have helped them on their journey. ISFJ superego in its angelic form is about using sacrifice to make the most meaningful contributions to affiliates. The FE master of the INTJ can provide the strongest code of conduct for humanity, and the SI angel adopts traditions for everyone to follow. To learn more on how to develop your demon and experience a deep dive into the tools to master your demon, check out Season 29 in the membership portal at csjoseph.life. INTJs can put up a front of utter greatness, but their flaws do run deep. Consistent practice turns them into a spectacle for the world to watch in awe. INTJs struggle with relationships more than any other type. Give them the space to fail and accept that their good intentions might not always translate into real-time effort. They will eventually shed their skin. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment down below, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content.